everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Jack Wagner's as Capri in B&B. Will he be back for When Calls the Heart? In recent days, Jack Wagner has been seen in Capri for Bold and the Beautiful. He is reprising his role as Nick Marone. However, When Calls the Heart Season 13 starts filming soon. Will he be reprising his role as Bill Avery? Here is what we know now. Harveys may know Jack Wagner as Bill Avery. However, on the long-running CBS soap, The Bold and the Beautiful, he is Nick Marone. Although he has been filming episodes for the series since April 10, Nick Marone won't be on screen until June 13. The Melrose Place star recently went to Instagram stories and shared photos from Capri, Italy. In one he shared a scene of him saying "Ciao Bella." In another, he showed a gorgeous scene from the much-photographed landscape, as well as Jack in the backseat of a red vintage convertible. He may call himself the James Bond of Hope Valley, but he looked like 007 in that IG video. His character's return may be the savior that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, needs. Once again, Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, has broken her heart. However, Nick's return has found her fluttering her eyelashes once again. Nick and Brooke always have a spark, and fans are there for it. In 2003, Jack joined The Bold and the Beautiful. This lasted until 2012. In between that, Brooke and Nick had a very passionate romance, amid some complicated family dynamics. In one Italian interview that was shared on Instagram, Jack Wagner talked about how he and his character Nick Marone are both very confident. He shared that this has been fantastic. Moreover, this return has been about Nick's amour for Brooke. He also shared that Nick is trying to convince Brooke to share a new chapter of love. As for returning to the series after 10 years, he described it as visiting family. However, what about Jack's Hope Valley family? Will he be part of When Calls the Heart Session 13? Will Jack Wagner return to When Calls the Heart Season 13? There is no indication that the General Hospital alum won't be returning. Besides, the new showrunner, Joy Gregory, has already shared a Season 13 storyline that includes Wagner. Bill and Nathan are going to solve an urgent case. Of course, Bill and Nathan will have an important case. It's gonna be a case that is deeply connected to the town in a really urgent personal way. In addition, Harveys may wonder if Bill and Georgie Melissa Gilbert will continue their romance. That is up to the writers. Nonetheless, it seems obvious that Jack Wagner is in high demand and is used to a busy schedule. He will likely leave the soapy world of The Bold and the Beautiful and return to the comfort of Hope Valley in early July. He always posts an IG video when he returns to the set. Hallmark fans, do you watch Jack Wagner on his soaps as well as on When Calls the Heart? There is a place you never go to, but always remember, a coastline not drawn on maps, yet folded neatly between your ribs. You do not walk into it. You dissolve there. This is Capri, not the tourist-tangled island, but the moment in your life where time folds like silk. As Capri in, she whispered once, her voice caught in the hush between the tides and the clink of glass on stone. No one corrected her, no one could. The phrase wasn't wrong. It was just new, like a color you see once in a dream and then spend your whole life trying to name. The summer you disappeared into your own life, the sun didn't set, it evaporated. You left the windows open and let the salt air steal your books, your letters, the last photo where she still looked at you like you were a promise and not a pattern. You arrived on the coast with half a suitcase and no return plan. You rented a flat above a shuttered bookstore, the kind that sold more dust than stories. The keys jingled like wind chimes when the old woman dropped them into your palm. She smiled, but it wasn't kind, it was knowing. She'd seen people like you before. Capri, after all, is made of them. You kept odd hours. You woke at 4 when the sea was black and the gulls were asleep. You'd sit on the balcony and drink espresso that tasted like burnt hope and watch the waves argue with the cliffs. Below, the street cleaners moved like ghosts with brooms. You never heard them speak. It rained only once. Thunder rolled in over the Mediterranean like a memory too large to carry. You stood barefoot in the storm. When she called, her name was Allegra, or perhaps Isola. You were never sure, you didn't answer. Your phone lay inside, aglow with messages that blinked like tiny distress beacons. You let them drown. As Capri in, she had said again that night, dragging her cigarette in a lazy orbit through the dark. It's not a place, it's a temperature. It's the light between all lives and skin, you know. You nodded, because you did. You didn't know how to say it, but you've been living in that exact light for weeks. There was a man who played trumpet at dawn. Always the same song. It was full of notes that sounded like footsteps retreating down marble corridors. You imagined him on a rooftop, his instrument pointed toward Rome or his youth. You never saw his face. The postcard never got sent. You wrote it on the back of an old receipt from a pharmacy in Naples. It said, "I found where the sky ends. It's not at the horizon. It's behind your eyes, just after you wake up. Also, the tomatoes here taste like fire. I miss you, but not in the way you think." You tucked it into a crack in the wall near the bed and forgot about it. You read the sheltering sky 3 times. Each time, it got colder. You stopped highlighting the sentences. Instead, you whispered them into the sea. You didn't care if it remembered. There were cats. Everywhere. Pale-eyed, indifferent. They watched you like you were part of the ruins. Maybe you were. One of them followed you for 2 weeks. You named her Velvet. She never let you touch her. One evening, the color of oxidized bronze, she took you by the hand and led you to the edge of a cliff where bougainvillea wept in the wind. "There used to be a statue here," she said. "A boy with no face. He pointed out to sea, always. One day he fell." "Did they replace it?" "No," she smiled. "We just learned to look where he was pointing." You learned to cook, not well, but honestly. Bread that refused to rise. Fish that still smelled of the ocean's grammar. She laughed when you burned the polenta. "Molto bene," she teased. "You've made smoke from stone." On your last night, not that you knew it then, you both lay on the tiled floor, the fan a soft metronome above you. The moon spilled herself generously across the room. You told each other lies, but kindly. "I'm not afraid of forgetting," she said. "I don't miss her anymore," you replied. You left before sunrise. No note. No sound. Just a half mug of coffee and a pressed flower on the counter. As Capri in. As if that explains everything. The city that came next was loud, gray, full of angles. You wore shoes again. You said yes when you meant maybe and soon when you meant never. You passed a bakery once and the smell of lemon oil nearly broke you. Years later, someone asked what happened there. You tried to explain. You said, "It's like you ever walk into a memory that isn't yours, but you still know all the exits." They didn't understand. You didn't expect them to.